episode. All right. So welcome everybody to the Navigating Dementia series. Today we're going to hear about California phones, and I'm so glad to partner with Alzheimer's Los Angeles on this series. And so I would love to turn it over to Angie Ye and have her just tell us a little bit about Alzheimer's LA, and then we'll get started. You can introduce our speaker. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you, Adria. So hi, everyone. My name is Angie. I am the Senior Manager of Community Services at Alzheimer's Los Angeles. We are a local nonprofit, and we're currently celebrating our 40th year anniversary of serving the LA community. So we primarily work with people living with dementia. We have support groups, we have activities for people living with dementia and for the family members, because Alzheimer's is a family it affects everyone in the family, not just one individual, and it is a disease of emotions. So we do have different support systems, workshops, and professionals, social workers, care counseling, that we are able to offer you and your friends, your neighbors, other family members at any time. We also have a helpline number that you can feel free to call. I always say that there is no question too big or too small, and it's never too early or too late to ask your questions. And so with that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Teresa. She is from California Phones, and she is the outreach specialist who will be presenting today. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to her.
Angie. Hello, everyone. I think we all agree, right now with COVID, many family members have not been able to meet in person. And so, California Phones, we're here to help. I have my coworker here, Carmen, with me. So I know that since we've all been at home, you may or may not have seen some of our commercials on TV. I wanted to kind of show you a few, so maybe you can make that connection and say, oh, that's who you are. So I'm going to share my screen. So if you'd be patient with me. Oh, it's disabled. Adria, can I share my screen? Okay. And let me know if you cannot hear this.
Should be good to go. Great.
Okay.
Looks like it's coming on, Teresa.
Now California Phones offers free devices and accessories for your mobile phone, like this device to increase volume on your cell phone. Get details on this state program, call 1-800-330-5100 or visit californiaphones.org. California Phones offers free specialized phones like cordless phones, big button and volume enhanced phones. Get details on this state program. Call 1-800-330-5100 or visit californiaphones.org.
Did you know California has a state program that offers free, specialized phones for people with difficulty hearing, seeing, moving, speaking, or remembering? If you're a California resident, applying is easy. There are no income requirements. Just fill out the first section, sign, ask your doctor to sign, then mail, fax, or email the form. Call today, 1-800-330-5100, or download an application at californiaphones.org.
Okay, so how many of you have seen one of our commercials during this time? Oh, Lori has, Adria, Carmen, of course. Has anyone else seen our commercials? Okay, so I'm going to have Carmen kind of go over our housekeeping real quick, and then we'll go more into our program.
Thank you, Teresa. My name is Carmen. I'm also an outreach specialist like Teresa, but I'm actually in the Central Valley. Our program has offices throughout the state, and so I happen to be, I work out of the Fresno Service Center. But just to get this presentation running as smoothly as possible, we'd like to just remind you to, if you can keep yourself on mute. That way, if your dog starts barking all of a sudden, like mine does sometimes, or you've got, someone mowing the lawn next door, we won't hear any of that background noise. And then also, we will have a Q&A session at the end. So if you want, you can chat your questions in the chat box. If you think you might forget what your question is, 20 minutes down the line, sometimes I forget. Or you can, just hold off till the Q&A session, just because your questions will probably answered as we go. Teresa's quite thorough in regards to our program. So with that, I will turn it over to Teresa.
Thank you, Carmen. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into our program. We're going to talk about who we are, how we're funded, what kind of services and equipment we provide, and how you can become a part of our program and how you can find us. So I'm going to share my screen again. You can all see this? Okay, can you all see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just out of the way. All right. And now technical difficulties because okay, there we go. All right, so who are we? So we actually got our start when a group of deaf and hard of hearing activists, they went to Sacramento, they lobbied, they said we want equal access to communication. So we were able to start our program by getting a TTY or teletypewriter, also known as TDD device in the program. And later on, it's like, well, if two people have the equipment, they can communicate directly like we do on the phones nowadays. But what happens if I have it, but you don't, right? So later on, we were able to get our relay system in place. So now, if the other person doesn't have equipment, they can still communicate. And now currently we've added Senate Bill 60. So we can also provide equipment for not just the hard of hearing and the deaf, but those that have seeing, moving, speaking, and learning or remembering challenges as well. So if you've never looked at your phone bill before, there is a phone bill. There is a surcharge on there called California Relay Service and Communication Devices Fund. So that is how we're funded. Doesn't matter if it's your cell phone, doesn't matter if it's your landline phone. It should appear on there. So there's no age, no income, or no insurance requirement. So our goal, of course, is to get our equipment into the hands of those that have the following difficulties: the hearing, seeing, moving, speaking, and learning or remembering. Now there's different degrees. So, someone may be wearing reading glasses. They're not blind, they can qualify. Someone may have arthritis in their fingers. They can qualify. They're not bedbound, but they have the moving challenge. So again, I just want you to think of different people in your circle of friends or family that maybe they have this need, and we can get them our equipment. So this is that TTY that we first talked about. And as you can see, there's a typewriter. That's why we call it a TTY teletypewriter. And also the captioning here at the top. And then here's where the light will flash when there's a phone call coming in. So we also have accessories. So each person can qualify to get a telephone and an accessory at no cost. So accessory in terms of someone with severe hearing loss could be a flashing light, could be a super loud ringer. And of course, our phones are T-Coil and hearing aid compatible. Now the relay system that I talked about is here. It's our CRS, California Relay Service. So I want to bring your attention to the three circles at the top. So if I'm the one here on the left-hand side, non-TTY user calling my friend on the far right, I would actually have to call the operator in the middle. And whatever I say, she's going to type it in. He's going to read it. He's going to type back a response, and she will voice that to me. So that's how that system works. So it's very simple. I just have to dial 711. Now there is a direct English and Spanish line number that I could call or you could call. This is available 24/7 and it's free for all users. Now in line with this service, we also have a speech-to-speech service. So someone that has difficulty to understand speech can call an operator and have their conversation or what they want to say repeated to the other person that they're calling, or vice versa. If I'm calling someone that I know is using an artificial larynx or they stutter, I could call them using this service as well. So again, this is available by dialing 711 and it's available 24/7 and it's free for all users. Now in terms of speech, this is our phone that has outgoing amplification. Now, a lot of the equipment we have cover more than one category. So this one, although it's for someone with speech, this one also is one of our loudest phones for outgoing amplification, and I mean incoming as well as outgoing. So you see there's a lighted keypad on the numbers here. We have the one touch speed dialing. We've got the tone and the volume control. So someone with hearing loss, someone with mobility, with the large numbers. So again, it covers more than one category. In terms of speech, we have accessories like an anti-stuttering device, artificial larynx, and also the TTY that I showed you earlier. Those are all different options. So hearing, here's another phone for hearing. Again, the large numbers, it's got here the date and time, or if you have caller ID, it will show the information, either the number or the name of the person that's calling. Now, if you're dialing out, it will show the number up there that you're dialing. You have the one-touch speed dialing on the side. And of course, the light that will flash to indicate there's an incoming call. So other phones that we have, accessories would be captioning phone. We have the TTY. I think with this phone here, you can increase volume, right? But it could be a muffled sound. So the tone control is really important to bring in that clarity of sound. So this phone, as well as the one you saw earlier, the one previously, have that ability to change the tone and bring in that clarity. Speakerphone on our phones allow the person to use more than one ear to hear the conversation.
Teresa, did you mention that the ringer is amplified as well?
I probably missed that, but yes, the ringer is also amplified. Everything is loud. So again, we also have the accessories. So we have an additional ringer that you can add on to your phone, or a light flasher. Maybe someone's always watching the TV and they could never hear that phone ring, or the loud ringer will, it's going to annoy the other people living in the house. So you can get a light flasher. So there's other options. So moving on to vision here, we have the large button phone, and this is has contrasting colors, the white and black, but we also have the black on white. The numbers are about the size of larger than a quarter, and talking keypad. What that means is when I press a number, it's going to repeat that number back to me. So if, a lot of people, if you don't have good vision, you might think, well, I just dialed a 4. No, did I dial a 4 or 5? This way, it will tell you, so I know exactly what number I just dialed. Again, we have phones that have the speakerphone. This one does not. And then we have phones with lighted keypads. So people with difficulty moving, this is one of our basic cordless phones. So you see in the middle, it has a talk button. So talk for on, talk for off. It's not two separate buttons like some of the other phones have. And of course, the red area is going to flash when the phone rings. We've got a lighted keypad here. This is a little bit larger size than a regular cordless phone. And of course, this one also has all the bells and whistles that we mentioned earlier. It's got the speakerphone, the loud volume, the tone control, and you can also program numbers in this phone as well. So difficulty with learning or remembering. We have this phone here that has the photos. So you can put in pictures of, doesn't have to be people. It could be whatever memory will work, memory tricks will work for the person using the phone. So say, I know Jane likes to watch the stars at night. So if I put a picture of a star, I know that's Jane. So whatever is going to work for the person using the phone. This one here also has volume for louder volume for someone with mild hearing loss. And again, the phone will flash here when the incoming call comes in. So some accessories that we have are, we have a photo dialer, and we also have a voice dialer.
Teresa, can I just add a comment about the photo dialer?
Sure.
That one is really convenient for someone that needs the pictures, like the picture feature here on this telephone here. But if you'll notice, the pictures are a little small. So if they're too small for someone that has vision problems, then the photo dialer might be a better item that would meet their needs because it holds wallet-sized pictures. So it'd be a lot easier to identify the face or the symbol just because it's much larger.
I'll just stop sharing real quick and I'll show that to everyone. I have it right here. So I don't know if you can see this. So each page you can program 6. And so there's 6 pages, so 24 memories that you can put here. And I would just have to click on the button next to the photo that I want to call, the number I want to call. Okay. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen again. So mobile accessories. So here we have 2 that will pair with a smartphone using Bluetooth. These have volume enhancement. So the top one here, it can also connect with hearing aids. But if you don't have hearing aids, you would have to use earbuds and you can actually increase the volume on this one. The bottom one is our Hear All. This one here is a hands-free and it has a tone control as well as the volume. And also you can use it as a speaker or the handset mode. A third option is you could also pair it to your hearing aids. This is one of our most popular models, the Hear All. And again, you see the button in the middle. So it's one for on and one for off. And then I'm going to show you later also, we have a Panasonic phone that pairs you with their smartphone. So I know a lot of people say, well, I have my smartphone, that's all I need. But even myself, if I'm charging up my smartphone and I'm going out to another room, it's very difficult, right? I don't want to have to be running to the phone. So I can actually pair the Panasonic with my smartphone and carry that around with me in the house. So I will show that a little bit later. But talking about smartphones, we also have basic smartphone training classes. We have basic classes for iPhone and for Android. So if you're interested in that information, please let me know. We can send that. Actually, we can maybe we can put a flyer in the chat so you can.
Yes, Teresa, I'll get that out to everybody in the chat box. I'll include a flyer and it has the description of the class, and then it gives you an 800 number where you can call if you have any questions. You should see it in the chat box now.
Thank you, Carmen. All right, here's the application form. So earlier we mentioned there's no age, no income, no insurance requirement, but we do have these 3 requirements that are: you have to live in California, you have to have telephone service, so either landline or cell phone, and you have to have difficulty with one of these 5 areas: hearing, seeing, moving, speaking, and learning or remembering. So here's a sample of the application form here on the left. So you would fill this out, sign it at the bottom where it's highlighted. And the next step will to bring it to an authorized certifying agent. So this is a list of certified agents. It could be your medical doctor, your eye doctor, your ear doctor. It could be the hearing aid dispenser at Costco. So this is a list. You would bring it to them and they would sign this portion here. And this really helps us to make a better assessment and recommendation of equipment to someone who's applying for equipment from us. As you notice here, it says impairment. It would say what category. But for example, for hearing, it would say mild, moderate, severe. If they check off mild, I would know I'm not going to recommend a different piece of equipment to someone. So, or if they checked off severe, remember I mentioned the photo phone is for mild hearing loss. So that will not work for someone with severe hearing loss. So we know right away, I'm not going to recommend that. I would recommend a phone with loud volume and the photo dialer that we showed you earlier together as a pair. So going back to the process. So the applicant will sign the application, they give it to the certifying agent, and then they give it back to the applicant who signs it and returns it back to us by mail, email, fax, or in person. Now this process could go reverse. So if you trust your certifying agent, you can ask them to maybe download the application, fill out their portion, and then give it back to the applicant, and then do it that way. So there's different ways of getting around. So whichever way works, we want to make it easy, easy as possible. So the different processes, if you bring it, we encourage people to come to our office because that way we can show them what's available. We can also train them on the equipment. You know, a lot of times, even myself, I get something in the mail that's electronic. I usually don't read all the directions. I just try to figure it out on my own. But if someone shows it to me, I learn a lot better. So if you're like that, you're a visual learner like myself, you know, please come to our office. Yeah, we can really show the equipment and train you. Also, another option is if you know someone that lives alone and they have no one that can help them set up the equipment, we do have staff that can go out and go into the homes if they're comfortable with that. So we do have different protocols in place and that has to be followed, but they can call us and contact us to find out what that would be. So this is a map of all of our centers, full-time and part-time. So the stars you will notice is a full-time one and the part-time is designated by the squares. So we do recommend that if anyone wants to come and see us in person at our center to call first. You know, some people have our old applications like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and the information is incorrect. So we don't want someone getting to their car and driving for an hour and finding out, oh, they're not even there anymore, or what happened? They're not open. And I don't know if you remember, we had fires, last year. And so some of our centers did close early. So we don't want anyone coming and then we're just not there for them. So please do make sure if you know someone that's planning to visit us to call us first.
Teresa, and if I may add, as Teresa mentioned, it's quite nice if you're able to go to the office because you turn in your application. We show you the phones that you can choose from. We train you on how to use it and you leave with your phone that very same day. Now, if you're not able to go to the office, what we do is we'll call you and complete a short assessment just to help you figure out which phone is best for you. And then we will ship it to you at no cost. So that's how you end up with the telephone if you're not able to go to our office.
Thank you, Carmen. So this one here is our direct language line numbers. And you may say, well, I speak German. How come I don't see any German number there? So you can call our English language line number and we can get an interpreter to come on the call. So our contact centers are open Monday through Friday, as well as our service centers, 8 to 5. And here you see our website, californiaphones.org. On here, you can get an application. You can download it. You can fill it out online and then print it out. Actually, I'm going to have Carmen show that to you so that it's visible and you can see how easy it is to navigate.
Do I have privileges to share my screen? Let's see.
I'm working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, let's see.
That's okay. We should
here.
have told you ahead of time.
No problem, no problem. Let me close that, close that. Looks a little different. Let me go here. Okay, now I'm where I'm used to seeing it. Okay.
I see a question in the chat box. We'll address that shortly.
Great.
Oh,
You're all set.
awesome. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let's see. Oops, that's the wrong one.
We have to unshare that now.
Yes. Stop sharing. Teresa, would you mind reading the question in the chat box?
Yes. Dia asked, do we have to return the phone if no longer needed? So yes. So you can call us and we can send a call tag to your home and pick it up. Just put it in a box and call us. We can give us your information so we can do that.
Thank you. I'm ready now. All right. Can you see our website now?
Yes.
California Phones. So if you, let's say you wanted to get to our application, you can come here, click on apply, and then you can choose what language you want the application in. So you can actually, like Teresa said, you can complete it here and then print it. But if you don't have access to a printer, feel free to call our 800 number and we will mail you an application if that's more convenient for you. Now, let's say you wanted to see all of our amplified telephones and devices. You're going to click on specialized products and then hearing loss. And then here you get pictures of all of the telephones and devices that we offer Californians that have a hearing loss. And you'll notice there's a description of the telephones, the features that the phone has. So this will make it a little easier for you to choose a telephone. And under locations, maybe you forget where the closest office to you is located. You can click on locations and you'll find the map that we had showed you earlier. So our website is user-friendly. There's a lot of information here. So I encourage you to visit us if you are thinking of applying for one of our telephones.
So Carmen, there's a question. If a particular phone does not work for a person, can it be exchanged for a different type?
Yes, so we do want you to really consider what your needs are when you first choose your telephone, because we do have an exchange policy. But if at any time the telephone is no longer working properly, we can exchange it or we can try and repair it. And then also if your needs change, for example, my mother had an amplified phone because that was her challenge, was her hearing loss. And then she started displaying some signs of memory difficulties, and she's forgetting our phone numbers. And so quite often she'll call me to ask me for my sister's phone number because she can't find her phone book. And so now we've exchanged it for a telephone that helps both with her hearing and her memory difficulties. We always want you to have a working telephone that is going to help you communicate.
So James has his hand raised.
Yes, hello, thanks for the presentation. So my question would be, with modern technology, is any of these phones a VoIP phone, a voice over internet protocol, or are they all work through landlines? That's my first question.
I think they're all landline phones, or most of them, they're all landline phones. Right, Carmen?
Yeah, because at my mom's house, it's of course I got an internet router, so I got security cameras, everything going wireless, and I also have a voice over IP, so it's a kind of like a work phone. It just works internet. So
I think it has the box that you can plug it in. It would work. Is that correct?
is that on the website so I could look into that more? You said a box?
Yeah, the box, the internet box.
You know,
Yeah.
Teresa, this might also be a good time to show the Black Panasonic.
I have it right
If
here
there
in my
is
hand.
no landline, this might be another option.
So this is the Panasonic that I mentioned earlier. As you can see, one of the functions that most people like on this one is it has the slow button, which is really good for someone with hearing loss because you can slow down the speech of the other person. So the only thing is with this though, the answer machine will not work because all the messages will go directly to the cell phone. But now I have two other options of answering the phone. I can answer from here, or I can answer from the base. I can pair two smartphones or two phones to this phone as well.
Fantastic, thank you. And then my other question, I'm sorry, is spam blockers. I think that's the biggest issue. And my mom just gets more annoyed answering those phones because there's so much spam. Are there any tools out there that the state is working on or has available?
I think of like the robocalls.
Yeah, I think there's a number you can call, but it doesn't always, some people have reported that it doesn't always work, or maybe like after 5 years, you have to call again to reset that.
You're talking about the do not call list, right, Teresa?
Right, but the thing is, they're getting so smart now. I mean, I get a lot on my work phone as well. and you just don't know because they're just normal numbers.
Thank you.
No magic bullet there. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So Teresa, did you want to go to questions now or did you have more content?
Oh, actually, I think I was going to show this, the Bluetooth. I don't know. This is the Hear All device that I mentioned. I guess it can play a little recording for everyone. Let me pair this up and
While you prepare that, Teresa, I'm going to answer one question in the chat box. Dia wanted to know if we have to return a phone if it's no longer needed. And yes, if the phone is not needed, because our telephones can be used for someone that's got a temporary disability, you know, maybe somebody broke their hip or broke their leg and they need a cordless phone for just a few months. When it's no longer needed, we do ask that you return it. And all of our phones have a sticker on them. It states it's the property of the state of California, and it has our 800 number where you can call so that we can send you the shipping information.
It looks like Dia was concerned like the device is not working. It's not so clear. Can she bring it back if it's not clear?
Yes, if the phone is not working properly or the device, if you are able to go to one of the offices, take everything that comes with that telephone or device so that we can troubleshoot, try and fix it. And if not, then yes, we will exchange it.
I just want to point out also that, you know, for our Panasonic phones, the batteries in here are rechargeable. So sometimes people put in regular batteries after a while and then the phone malfunctions. So in that case, you know, after 5-6 years, make sure you call us and we can actually ship the new batteries to you. It's on the handset and on the base. So those are some of the things we check for when we're troubleshooting a phone for the Panasonics or the cordless phones.
I see there was a second question. Carmen, do you want to handle that?
I see the one from Joanne. I think all the other ones we answered. It was in regards to exchanging telephones. The one from Joanne, do you need a landline for the memory phone with the pics on it? Or can it work off a cell phone connection? Unfortunately for that particular phone, it does work with the landline.
I'm going to play a recording real quickly, and I'm going to change the tone and the volume during the conversation so you can kind of get a feel for how it sounds.
For English, press 1. Spanish, press 2. Armenian, press.
Thank you for calling California Phones. This recording will help determine if the equipment you are testing is appropriate for your needs. Adjust the volume to a comfortable level at any time during the call. The equipment you are testing is part of the California Telephone Access Program.
So I actually changed the tone 3 times. I don't know if you could.
Teresa, we can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
There, that's better.
Oh, I changed the tone 3 times, so I don't know if you were able to tell the difference.
Definitely.
Well, this can get really loud. So if you can think of someone, maybe they're waiting for their family, you know, dial a ride, or they're in Costco and they can't find their family, or sometimes when they have to call telehealth, right? You can have more than one person on the conversation to hear what's going on. So these are some things we really want to stress that we can help out with.
Yeah, I quite often hear our customers telling us that on their cell phone, they always set it on speaker mode because that's the only way they're able to hear due to their hearing loss. And so that means they're not able to have a private conversation. So with this handset that Teresa was just demoing, you can connect it to your cell phone via Bluetooth, and you've got an amplifier with you at all times. And on this one, you can also change the tone control like she demonstrated. The volume is louder, the incoming voices are louder, and it does have a speaker feature if you need that, but your conversations will be louder and clearer with this handset.
And it's very simple. So it's like that one on, one off button. So they can leave their smartphone in their purse and just use this.
You know, I was wondering if, Lori, did you still have a question? I saw your hand up at one point.
Oh, just to go back to the spam blocking, like our personal phones, my cell phone and our landline, they have a place where when number calls, I want to block it right on the phone. So these phones don't have that capability to block numbers.
I believe the Panasonic, you can block numbers, but if you delete the number off of your phone, then it won't remember the next time it comes in again. So you have to keep that number in the phone.
But I mean, is there a capability where you would push block? It comes up, there's a little button you push that says block.
I think you have to go into the menu and then block it from there.
Okay.
And the other thing too is that sometimes you, it's through your telephone company. You might have to press a certain number in your phone to block that call. I remember I had to do that when I had my landline. There is another question in the chat box. So we have to return the phone when the user later passed away or moved to a nursing home. So if someone passes away, yes, we ask that you return your phone. If they move to a nursing home and they can still use the telephone, you know, maybe somebody's in a nursing home because they need more skilled care, but they still want to stay in touch using their telephone, they can definitely take their telephone to the nursing home with them.
That's great.
I don't see any other questions in the chat box.
So Teresa, this is wonderful information. And I think it's really great to see how things work. You know, I'm a visual learner too. So I'm wondering, those that are on with us today, which we've got a nice crowd, which I'm so appreciative of your time today. If you have anything that you're wondering about, anything you'd like Teresa and Carmen to clarify, anything further?
I have a question.
Lori?
My mom lives far away, but I live near Glendale, where I guess you have a service center. Is it okay if I was to make an appointment, go out and check the phones for her to get an idea of like what would be best for her, or does she have to physically come in?
Okay, so you can actually go and come in and check for her.
Okay.
Sometimes we like people that's going to use equipment choose for themselves, because their family members may come in, they say, oh, I think this will work, and they bring it back, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's too big for my table, or oh, the handset's too heavy. So that's one of the reasons we like the person using equipment to come and choose it themselves. But if she can't, you know, you're more than welcome to come to our service center, or we can send someone to the home if she's comfortable with that. So there's different options, but yes, we welcome you to come as well.
Okay.
Fantastic. So I think we'll get ready to close if you're okay. Whoops, somebody's just coming in. A social worker. Okay. Welcome, welcome. Angie, is there any trainings coming up that you wanted to let us know about, or anything in general from Alzheimer's Los Angeles?
On our end, we do have, you know what, I will actually send, I'll put the link in the chat of our calendar of events, including other types of presentations, much like Teresa's today. And so it is free, no cost. So anyone, if there's any subject that you're interested in that catches your eye, please feel free to RSVP for that. I do want to also mention that we do have a post survey from us. So I'd like to I'll go ahead and thank you, Adria, for sending it out. I'm going to go ahead and put that in chat really quick. Again, your feedback really helps us, and it's really much appreciated. And so while Teresa takes any questions, I will also go and grab that website link for you, everyone.
Great, great.
Oh, I wanted to ask if everyone knows how to save the chat.
Oh yeah, you want to tell them?
Yeah, so if you look on the bottom, if you look for chat and you click on that, and when you open it up, on the far right, there's 3 ellipses or 3 dots on the far right, right next to the smiley face. So if you were to click on that, you can click on Save Chat, and I believe it saves into your documents. Is that correct? Double check.
Into your Zoom account maybe, or, yeah.
Yes,
Goes
into the Zoom
into-
account.
What's it? Documents, and then it will say Zoom on it.
And by the way, I'm sorry, by the way, since I saw a couple of professionals on here, I did include a flyer in the chat box about our upcoming presentation geared towards professionals and, medical professionals. We've got 2 presentations scheduled every month, short presentations, something you can do during your lunch hour. So if anybody's interested in listening to one of our presentations, we do have one coming up the first Thursday in October, and the flyer is in the chat box.
Perfect.
And I've also gone ahead and included the link that directly links you to our calendar of events from Alzheimer's Los Angeles. And again, like I mentioned, there are activities in there for anyone who is currently caring for a person living with dementia, and and also educational workshops and presentations, specifically talking about how to recognize different behaviors and how to help manage them. We will have our October calendar coming up soon, so please check back later on too. Thank you.
And I was going to ask you, Angie, there's going to be a town hall for those that speak Mandarin, right? Is that happened yet, or?
Not yet. It will be in October, actually. So I can also get the date of that. Just pull up my calendar. I believe it will be.
Put you on the spot. I just think that's so special, though, that these town halls are really comprehensive, wonderful events, and to do it all in, specific languages. There was an all Spanish town hall. Spanish speakers could join, and now this one will be for Mandarin speakers. So just fabulous work you're doing.
And so if anyone's interested, please feel free to email me. Again, I left my email in chat. I'll go ahead and write that in again for everyone.
That's pretty specific. We'll call you if we need you.
Yes,
But,
if you need anything, I'll be happy to answer.
I kind of
any and all
wanted people to
questions.
know, just the really, I think the inclusivity and the work that you are all doing to make sure that this, these messages get out to the right people. So
Actually, isn't there always also the Making Memories Festival?
Yeah, that's a big event.
Yeah, that's an
Yes.
in-person event in November, November 14th at the LA Historic Park.
And I will see you there. We're all going to be there, right, Teresa?
If my company will let me.
Come on, Carmen. You have to travel down. I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to just thank Teresa for her expertise that she shared with us today, and props to everybody today for participating and engaging with the presentation. So have a great rest of the week, and we'll send folks out. I'll stay on in case there's any questions. And thanks again.